Welcome to In Pursuit of Truth. This is your host, Sir Patrick Mack. We are back, and guess what? We got ourselves a little mystery. It's not a whodunit. It's more like a head scratcher. It's more like a what? 3 dead and suspected Southside drug overdoses identified. Police said all victims are wearing orange paper bands on their wrists. That is a mystery. We are on Pittsburgh's Action News 4, and I just want to point out that the anchor's name is Chris Lovingood. And I think that's funny because I'm 4. Pittsburgh police are investigating after 3 people died and 4 were hospitalized following what police said appeared to be a drug overdose in Southside early Sunday. The 3 dead have been identified as Rubiel Clemente Martinez, 32 of Columbus, Joel Pesina, 32 of Coropolis, and Josue Soberal Serrano, 38 of Carthage. 5 victims were found inside an apartment. 1 was found in an elevator, and another was found at 26 and Carson Street. Gosh, they were found all over the dang place. Police said all the victims were males. Where's that buck? Where's that buck? He's not in Pittsburgh. Police were at Southside Works City apartment on Tunnel Boulevard around 7 a.m. Oddly enough, Tunnel Boulevard, and said each victim was wearing an orange wristband. Police said the victims all took narcotics at the same time and in the same location. This sounds like an Ed Buck party. Police said this was not a case of tainted drug being passed around or distributed in large volume at a venue that could have affected more people. It appears to have been isolated to a single location. The conditions of the victims in the hospital range from serious to critical. Police said they are concerned about a tainted, potentially deadly batch of drugs in the community. We remind the public not to use drugs. Simply put, you do not know what's in that drug, police said in a news release. Police identified multiple venues in the city that used orange wristbands Saturday night for events and concerts. Anyone who attended one of these events has no cause for concern regarding their health, according to police. And then this is the statement here. The individuals that were involved in the incident were not residents of our community. It is our understanding that they were acquaintances of a resident in good standing. It is also our understanding that the group had attended an outside event before returning to the apartment. We express our deepest sympathies to the families and friends of the affected individuals and send our thoughts and prayers to those who were transported to the hospital. We are working closely with local authorities, and this is an ongoing police investigation. All questions should be directed to the Pittsburgh Police Department. Okay, so this is a pretty rough story here, and there might not be anything real suspicious to this. This might have just been a party gone wrong. But we have 7 people. All of them were wearing the same orange wristband, so we can assume they were all at the same party. It appears that it would have been in this apartment because they found 5 of them in the apartment. 3 of them died, and 4 of them are in the hospital. So this was a rough night. Don't do drugs, kids. But that's evidently what happened. Now, I don't know if there's something deeper to this or not, but I think it's very, very interesting. And it seems like that everybody that was touching on these stories kind of touched on it and then left it alone. This is an example here, CNN. Police say the overdose deaths at a Pittsburgh apartment were isolated to that location. All the victims were wearing orange wristbands, stoking initial concerns of a widespread health emergency. Okay, well, I don't know if this was fentanyl related or something else. I'm not really sure. I'm not really up on modern drugs. Don't really care that much, but it seems like this is pretty awful. Whatever happened at this party might have just been something out of control. But what's interesting here is that a lot of these news outlets reported that it's stoking initial concerns of a widespread health emergency. And that's exactly what they did. Well, if you're stoking initial concerns of a widespread health emergency, you would think that you'd be responsible enough to quell that when you kind of know what's up. But it didn't really seem like a lot of these news organizations have followed up much. And if you just go down below and see the posts and stuff like that, there's a lot of speculation there. but it seems like nobody, CNN hasn't come up with a follow-up post is what I'm saying. A lot of these MSM conglomerates aren't really following up on this story. So anyway, I want to point out, I got some reports here at the nearby River Casino. Looks like this dude right here, DJ Pauly D. Yeah, he's DJing over at the Rivers Casino, and the reports were that his event was giving out orange bands. Now, if you're going to something like this, a concert or some sort of performance at a casino or something like that, it makes sense that they would give wristbands. So it's hard to know if this was an after party maybe coming from this. I'm most certainly not implying that this guy had anything to do with it. This guy looks like he's got it going on right there. He knows what's up. Anyway, but that was the reports that I got. A couple reports coming out of Rivers Casino saying that it might have been distributed there. Maybe these people ended up at this apartment, but it seems more than likely that whatever this was probably originated from this apartment. Police are indeed interested in venues that were hosting events that had orange wristbands, and of course, I just pointed the one out at the nearby casino. But that got me thinking a little bit, and I just kind of applied the usual process to a lot of these stories, especially when I hear stories kind of die out in the media. I went searching, and through the normal process, I wanted to just kind of point out a couple of things that I found. But at the center right of your screen, you can see Southside Works, 2626 Tunnel Boulevard. I'm always interested in tunnels. I'm not so sure that has anything to do with this story, but I found it interesting that it was Tunnel Boulevard. But over here, I found this very interesting. Here we have this asset, STEM education, Tarkin Core, New Vision Engineering, Immunetrics, the Sharp Edge Labs. And here is Immunetrics. First thing I noticed was, of course, the logo. There's that fancy spiral right there. And here would be 1 6. You go this way, that would be another 6. And then the last one would also be a 6. Just saying, Immunetrics. At Immunetrics, we build predictive biological models of drug targets and clinical trials. Our model simulations are able to inform our clients' decisions at all stages of drug development, including preclinical targeting, trial designs, combination drug synergies, target patient populations, new indications, and FDA requests. All right, and right next door was Sharp Edge Labs. Sharp Edge Labs, discovering drugs to treat genetic disorders of protein trafficking. That's why they don't want us to eat meat, because they're trafficking all the protein. No, I just made that up. All right, so here we have this Sharp Edge Lab, stem cell research, right next to Immunetrics, which deals with target patient populations, just in case you need to try out a drug on target populations. Maybe you give them a wristband. No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying. But I do find it very interesting, and I find it very interesting that they're located right next to a STEM education center. And of course, STEM education and stem cell research, that's not the same thing at all. Even though if you kind of take a bigger picture, look at it, it kind of is. This New Vision Engineering is nuclear solutions. They deal with all kinds of solutions for people who may have problems when they're dealing with nuclear engineering. They deal with robotics and cleanup and that kind of stuff. But in particular, I thought it was very interesting, this Sharp Edge Labs and this Immunetrics. And of course, anytime I think about stem cell research, I think about where they are getting their product from. And of course, that led me to my next search. Now, I did this search actually from the Southside Works City Club Apartments. But as you'll see, as we kind of back up and get a bigger picture, we can find that right across the way over here, only 2.7 miles away, is the Planned Parenthood Pittsburgh Family Center. Well, surely with this Planned Parenthood, there couldn't be a FedEx print and ship center anywhere nearby, except for there is on the same block. And another one nearly a mile away. Up at the top of your screen is the Planned Parenthood Center, and down here is the second location, FedEx Office Print and Ship Center. Okay, so please understand, I don't know that these really have anything to do with each other. I just found those buildings next to the apartment very, very suspect. And of course, I've done a lot in regards to this Planned Parenthood, their close proximities to FedEx, and their relation to a lot of stem cell research centers And of course, this stem cell procurement centers such as STEM Express that I've talked about in past videos. So there you go. I did find it very interesting that they had a kind of this drug testing, center right next to this apartment. It wasn't necessarily next to the event. We don't really know where the event was. We don't know who was giving out the orange wristbands. And I don't want to, cast any aspersions on DJ Pauly D or whatever. It could have happened at that event. It could have happened at something else. But it was definitely interesting. It caused a health scare, and that's what got me looking. But I did find the Planned Parenthood stuff very interesting. Now, in the next part of my search, I always tend to think whenever there's some sort of possible mass scare, I always think about whether or not there are military operations nearby. And sure enough, from TRIBlive.com, this is from Friday, September 13th, military exercises to bring low-flying helicopters explosions to Pittsburgh. Don't be alarmed if you hear explosions this week or see low-flying military helicopters and planes buzzing around Pittsburgh and the surrounding area during the evening. I'm just going to stop right there. Any article that starts with "don't be alarmed if you hear explosions," it's not good. Okay, it's not good. The Department of Defense has scheduled tactical and technical training with Pittsburgh State and Suburban Police SWAT teams, according to Public Safety Director Wendell Hisrich. And I just want to point out right there that he's not just the Public Safety Director, he's also Police Director Wendell Hisrich. And here he is in a video talking about the event here where 3 people were confirmed dead, the event we were just talking about. But back to this, dozens of officials from various branches of the Defense Department will be in Pittsburgh on Monday with training exercises starting Tuesday and continuing through Saturday. People may see low-flying helicopters with individuals hanging on the side of them, and they may hear loud explosions, Hisrich said. We appreciate the public's patience and understanding, and we apologize for any inconvenience this might cause. He said operations would likely take place downtown or in the city's East End area and north of Pittsburgh. Hisrich would not provide specific details about the training, but said similar exercises in the past have been invaluable to SWAT officers during critical incidents, particularly in the Tree of Life shooting in 2018. SWAT officers responding to the Tree of Life shootings on October 27th participated in military exercises that ran from July 29th to August 3rd, 2018, according Hisrich. So there you go. You had another event and another military training event right in the same time frame. Low-flying helicopters and tactical ground operations last year prompted numerous calls and social media inquiry from people curious and concerned about the sightings. They're saving me thousands of dollars on training, and they bring revenue to Pittsburgh, Hisrich said of the military. They're staying in hotels, they're renting cars, they're eating in restaurants, and any experience that we pick up is beneficial to our officers in keeping them safe. Hisrich said the Public Safety Department also has an active threat drill scheduled for Monday evening with employees at the David L. Lawrence Convention Center. The drill is unrelated and was scheduled before the military exercises, he said. Okay, so look, I get it. There's always going to be a few of those military people that are going to be like, Patrick, this stuff happens all the time. This is no news. This is not a story. Meh. Well, you're probably right. You could be right. I just want to point out for the last couple of years, every time I report one of these mass events, and of course this thankfully didn't turn into a mass event, even though they were kind of saying that it could be, I find that there's military drills going on right around the same time in the same area. You can take that for what you will, but this sounds a lot like what we saw in LA last year. A really, really suspect drill that was going on. And of course, it was just kind of the same answers there too. Oh, it's just a drill. This kind of stuff happens all the time. Well, it seems like this stuff is happening more and more. But anyway, there you go. And incidentally, this David L. Lawrence Convention Center where this active threat drill was being held is only 2.5 miles via Forbes Avenue away from the Southside Works City Club apartments. Probably coincidental. All right, Patriots, that's all I got for you for now. As always, if you like this video, please click like, share, and subscribe. Thanks to all of you who do that already. And if you're new to my channel, welcome to you. Please understand that from time to time, you're going to get unclicked, unnotified, and unsubscribed. It happens all the time. You don't need to let me know because I'm already aware of it. But what you could do is maybe bookmark my page or do whatever it takes so that you can get back to my videos in case you're not getting notifications. You don't need to let me know. I'm aware of it. I'm letting you know that you might not have anybody let you know. Yeah. All my alternate links are down below. My Gab, my BitChute, my Real.video, DropSpace, all that. Go check it out. I got a new Gab account for those of you on Gab. It's IPOT1776. IPOT1776. That is the same as my Twitter, IPOT1776. So give me a join on one of those platforms, and in case anything goes down on YouTube, you'll have another place to check out my videos. They're all down below in the video description. If you want to send me some information, please email me. Do not DM me. Please email me. The email is down below. My P.O. box is down below if you're old school. And if you'd like to support the channel, my Patreon link is down below. It's all down below in the video description. All right, kids, this is Sir Patrick Mack, and until next time, stay funky.